On my last leg of traveling through Idaho, I stopped by the former gold mining town of Idaho City. The population topped out at 7,000 around 1863, and now in 2022, there are probably about 460 people left who call this place home. After walking through the town's historic museum, I realized there was a tiny connection to be made. History that often does not get talked about. Now, I highly doubt I had any family who ever came through here, but these were countrymen of my great-great-grandparents. They came here looking for prosperity, so I had to at least take a look, a bit more, rather than pass through here ignorantly. The idea that the Chinese came to this land is admirable because that particular journey traveling across the vast ocean to get to the west coast and then finding their ways across the dry, dusty lands. To stop at Idaho City to mine gold would be the equivalent of us going to the moon to mine space ore. I found flying from New York City to Idaho and then renting a car to drive out here by myself not hard, but requiring a lot more thought and planning than, say, going out to the local Starbucks to pick up coffee. So I could only imagine what it was like to immigrate to lands that look nothing like the ones you grew up on, with people who speak languages that were alien to your ears. I visited the Pan Yam House, the former store, now a museum that Mr. Pan Yam used to sell goods to other Chinese and residents of the area. It's hard to imagine the sights and sounds of this location, since this was practically the center of the Chinatown that once thrived here, and now it's just a dusty road with not a soul in sight. Could you imagine all the Chinese New Years and parties that came through here, but yet, now the only thing that's left is a plaque in the original building? I continued to wander around and eventually came across the town's cemetery, with headstones dating back to the late 1800s. Although I am fascinated with seeing that type of historical marker, I was there looking for the burial locations of the Chinese who died on these lands. And that is what I found, except there were no trace of them here anymore. Their families made enough money mining gold, and they were able to transfer the dead back to China, as it was important to have the bodies buried in the land which they belong to, or their souls can never be at rest. This was what they believed in, and it was so important that every single one of them are no longer here.